ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ingus and I'm from IGS Electronics. I hope you enjoyed that little intro that we had today, and that pretty much represents what are we going to be working on today, and that will be the timers itself, and more specifically the on delay and off delay. Before we get started, this is very crucial, which we needed to do that in the very beginning of other videos. Is whatever the type of PLC you have, you need to make sure you check out performance specifics, because performance specifics is really telling you what is inside the controller and what is available for you to use. And let me just grab this manual in here, and as you can see, this one in here is my this manual will be added to manuals in description below, so definitely check it out. And check it out. So, but mainly, this is pretty much explaining you what is inside the controller, what's available, what's not available, what can you do and what you cannot do. So to get clearly a bit more clearly explain what it is, so if you can see down there in this performance specifications, is specifically for this type of series of PLC. So different types of series of PLCs will have different types of different functions and states and timers and counters and things like that. You need to make sure you read up on performance specifications. So if you can see down there, the one we're going to be working today is on timers, and it's telling you in here for 100 millisecond timers 0 to 31, those are the timers to be used for that specific function. And then is the 100 millisecond / 10 millisecond timers. There's a T32 to T36. It's going to be 31 point timer, where you can see read up in here which about what is it going to do when things are going to come on. And then with the M8028, as you can see down here as well, you for 1 millisecond timer, this is pretty much what it does. It allocates different timers for different specifics you want the timer to be. So you can see down there accumulating timer. Normally in all the other FX3U series, the accumulating timer starts at 250 something. But you can see in the FX3s series, it starts at 128 all the way to 131 for 1 millisecond accumulating, which basically is retentive, and which I'm going to show. There's going to be another video coming up with regarding retentive timers. So, and 100 milliseconds is going to be those. So definitely make sure, guys, you check out the performance specific is where things are being assigned to. Especially you can see down here this input output relays available for this series starts from 0 to 17, and Y's would be for 0 to 15. So definitely check out performance specific manuals. So let me move that along now. So let's load up the PLC and start have a look at it. What we are going to be working on today. And also let's load up our FX3s PLC. And another way to check how many timers do you really have, how many of everything you really are possible for the PLC. If you go to the batch monitoring, and let's say if you enter a T0, it's just sort of going to show you what is available for this PLC specific PLC. And as you can see down here, it goes all the way to 137. So, and they are not all the same, so definitely make sure, as you can show you already in the manual, they are not all of the same. So pretty much this is this PLC, it can have a 137 timers. Oh, I'll put T98 for whatever reason. And then let's have a look at the C0, how many counters, and this is, we can only have 31 counters. And if you're in the manual in here, it will explain you what each counter is. So there's high speed counters and things like that. So we are available from C0 to C15. We have a up counters, and then we have we don't even have. Yeah, we only have a very basic. What we can have is basically for general use is only from C0 to C15. And C16-bit up EEPROM keep counters, they will be from C16 to C31. But again, we're going to look at that some other time. So anyway, we are getting off the subject. So what is our subject today? We are looking into the timers today. And to progress in our little manual, this is pretty much the timers in here, and this pretty much tells you in here what's possible, what's not possible, because remember, this is general GXWorks manual, so it tells you how many timers are possible all the way to 2000, which is in our controller it's only possible 31 timers, no, 237 timers. So they all are different again according to specifics. So let's have a look how the timer actually works. So for normal non-retentive timer, this is the ones we're going to be looking at today. If let's say we say x0, and then we say a type it in T1, and then you need space, and then you do K, which is constant, and then you're going to tell you K1 will mean 100 milliseconds. So you need to sort of select not 100 milliseconds. K1 will be 10 milliseconds, and if you want like go for 1 second, you need to go in K10 or K20 or things like 1 second is in tens, so you can break down after that yourself. So let's go, we're gonna go for K30, so that'll be 3 seconds. So once we F4 it and then put it on, oh, not that one now. So we are going to go into a simulation. Thank you. So and as you can see in here, if you are going to batch, the timer to go, it needs to stay on. As soon as you off it, it will return back to 0. So on, and it will return back to 0. So pretty much every time we want to use the timer, we need to make sure that the bit stays on for him to run, and then obviously it would need to be some form of way of turning it off. So that's pretty much what we are going to be working on today. So our project starts with, as you remember, if you watched the last couple of videos, you know what our X's are already on our little controller in our video. Is he still available there? Where is our video? Yes, you know, let me just lower that one down. There's my little controller down there. So X3 is going to be our start button. So let's go for, let's change that one to, no, we need to go to the right mode. There we go. So X3, it's going to be our start, and again, as usual, we're going to be requesting the labeling. So X3 start, let's go with the small ones. And then we're gonna use internal bit M0 for setting it at the bit on and staying on, because we ain't gonna be holding the X3. This we're gonna be we already looked at the set instructions last time, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. There we go. So we're gonna go for set space M0. You pretty much tell him what you want to set. And there we go. So now the M0 is set. Oh, I forgot to name it. We're gonna call that one as start T0. I call it like that. Why not? Here we go. Start T, not T0. So the next one, we need to start the actual T0, which is gonna be a M0. And we're gonna say, we're gonna coil. Remember, the timer is a coil itself, it's shown in the manual. So we're gonna say T0. We are gonna say, and again, space, and to as I said before, to how many seconds? 10. K10 will be 1 second. K20 will be 2 seconds, and so on. So we're gonna say K. Let's say 30. Why not? So 30, let's time it. So now our timer is on, and that a timer can, after he runs out, he will turn something on. So the next what we need to do is we need to create what are we going to be turning on. So T0 is becoming a contact now. So that's going to be T0. And what do we call that T0 actually? We're gonna call it start delay on. Why not? Something like that. Just to give us a bit of an understanding of what is going on. And what do we turn on? The actual coil, which is, remember from our last videos, not in there, in here. We're gonna turn on Y0, and that will be our, keep forgetting, that will be our run forwards. Here we go. So that way we F4 that one, and that way we have created a on delay. Next, we need to create off delay, the same one. So to do the off delay, we do exactly the same principle. It's just this time we're going to use X4. So X4, yeah, we're going to call it a stop. And we pretty much will repeat the same thing. So we need a new different internal bit, actually the contact. So we're gonna call that set probably. Let's go for M. What do we have? M1, one we not use already. So M1. Let's click that one on, and it's M1 is going to be a what do we call it? A stop delay on. And from there on, obviously we're going to use a that one. M1, which is already that what we have. And what are we doing? We're going to be activating the timer, which is going to be T1 this time, 4K 3 seconds. Here we go. Off delay timer. Let's call it like that. What you call them is down to you. And then T1. No, we need to select the contact. So we're going to say T1 timer. And what are we doing? We are actually going to be resetting the M0, because remember that is still set in there, and obviously we still need to reset our M1 as well. So pretty much that's what we're gonna do, because at the moment, as you can see, the time the set will run the timer and keep the timer on. So we need to reset it to stop the timer and reset back to 0. We need to remove the power from it, or remove the contact of it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create instructions called RST. And then we say M0, which is basically M0 to a reset the start. And we are also going to be creating another reset, and that will be for M1. RSD M1. So here we go. We already knows what that is, and that's, ladies and gentlemen, we have created the on delay and off delay. So the next thing what we need to do is we need to check it out how that works. And as always, how that works, we need to go to a simulator before we load it into the controller. So let's close that one. There we go. So let's go to X3. Let's click the X3 on. After 3 seconds, as you can see, the Y is stayed on. So this is basically on delay. So then we need to go for some form of off delay, which we did around it. Oh yeah, don't forget to turn that one off. And then to turn it off, as you can see, as soon as we click the F4, as you can see, M1 is set on. And here we go. It has reset the. I need to make sure that one is off. Reset the timer and reset the the timer for the start and timer for the stop, and both of them are now completely stopped. So that's how on and off a delay it's done, and that's how pretty much how the timers work. I hope that is explaining you quite a bit. So let's go next to a little station down there and check it out. And before we do that, only thing we need to do now is send it into PLC. So there we go, do them. So remember, every time it asks me this little message down there, it's because my PLC is always in the run mode. So it asks me to turn things on and off. So here we go, that's that. So let's put in a monitoring mode. And how much can we see down there? That should be sufficient enough. But sort of to give you a gist to see how that works in live action when you actually use it on a system. So we click the start button. As you can see, the timer is going. After 3 seconds, it will turn the system on. And when we click the off button, it will run for the off delay for 30 seconds, and the timer will stop the belt. Before we go, I'll give you a little small challenge, which is probably not a big challenge, but if you are a starter, it would be interesting to see if you can come up with some sort of different way to doing a little project. So I have written a little project which basically, when you turn the machine on, belt goes for a little bit one way, and then it goes a little bit other way, and just keep going backwards, forwards. And I'll show you the little project that I have created. And this little project can be done many different ways from what we have learned already. Yeah, so why you keep asking me all these? I think it's this one we're doing, or this one off delay. No, that's not that one. So it was this one. So here we go. So this is pretty much a little project in here that I have created. So we have a start button to pretty much start the system up. I didn't put any comments on it because I just quickly wrote it up. And we're basically in here the system down here, which will run. I'm not going to run through this stuff because it would be very challenging and interesting to see how much you can come up with yourself to create something like that. Just to sort of give you a good understanding how to use these instructions that we have learned so far. So to show that, from if you're using GXWorks 2 from the simulator, keep forgetting the name for me, from simulator, you should be able to see this function. So basically, as you can see, belt goes one way, so it goes on, off, on, off. So and let's just put it off and turn this on to stop the system. So pretty much that's a little project I would like to see you guys create, something like that, just for the challenge, and sort of stretch your brains a little bit. But to see that in action, let's load this in the PLC. It's good to have a training rig like that, because you can really see what works, what doesn't work, and what the feel for it. At least it is for me. So I'm not sure how it is for you. So if you can't build yourself or get these rigs for yourself, definitely do it, because when I work and build some sort of projects for myself, often I put it on a belt, and then I always come up with all sorts of glitches that doesn't work, and it's basically iron it out. So let's have a look how that works. Let's put a little thingy on top of it. So you can see, so here we go, that kind of system. It goes one way a little bit, and then it goes the other way a little bit, then it goes one way a little bit, and then it goes the other way a little bit. So it's something like that, just to play around, so you can get a pretty good feel for it, how to start really creating a very basic logics for the systems you are most likely could be working in the future. And that will be it, ladies and gentlemen, for the timers. We didn't go into the tentative timers because I think that's a different ball game, different subject. I'm probably going to do that video a little bit in the future. Actually, let me know in the comments below if you do want to see a little bit of work with retentive timers, and let me know in the comments below if you like to see these end projects at some sort of challenges. If no, then definitely let me know that you're not interested in it. If you are interested, definitely let me know that you are, so I'll be progressing a bit more with them, so I'll give you a little bit of a tasks that you could design. And then if you want to send me your idea, because you don't have to copy what I did in here, definitely don't do that. There's many different ways to do this, so I would love to see if you can come up with different type of ways of doing it, or just to see what can be done. So I'm quite interested with what we've learned. Obviously there's other methods to do it, but what we've done, so far we've learned with sets and resets and timers, and then M auxiliary blocks, contacts, and X's and Y's. So that should be sufficient enough to really create some sort of small project. It's just like a small task. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked that video, please smash that like. If you didn't, smash the dislike. Comment below what you like, what you don't like, and obviously let me know what more you would like to see, and if you want to see the video on retentive timers. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.